so sharp the silence cracks. No more turning, no more tracks. Every nerve begins to burn as the tides begin to turn. Fury without retreat, we collide fire. Every pulse ascending higher and higher. No surrender written in our veins tonight. Only blazing motion in the flashing light. Fury without retreat, hear the thunder break. Every step a promise that we will not shake. When the world is shaking under restless feet, we become the fury without retreat. Steel reflections in the rain, every scar a hidden gain. Voices rising through the haze, lost inside the burning phase. Hands are steady, vision wide, no more shadows left to hide. Through the chaos we advance, driven by a fearless stance. Air grows heavy, hearts align, crossing over every line. Every second feels so loud, standing strong against the crowd. Fury without retreat, feel the pressure climb. Every heartbeat striking out of time. Shattered echoes falling to the floor, yet we rise up stronger than before. Eyes ignite with crimson glow, carving paths where none can go. In the clash of will and heat, we define the final beat. Fury without retreat, voices intertwine. Every clash becoming a design. Fear dissolves into the flame. Nothing here will stay the same. Standing where the sparks collide, with relentless fire inside. Through the noise and through the heat, we remain the fury without retreat. Melody falls like distant rain, soft relief within the strain. For a breath the world feels slow, quiet embers start to glow. Then the silence breaks apart, like a drum inside the heart. Every note begins to rise, painting storms across the skies. Fury without retreat, feel the moment surge. Every doubt begins to slowly purge. No more chains to hold us down, only echoes of a rising sound. Even when the night grows thin, still the battle lives within. Through the roar and through the heat, we endure with no retreat. Lights fade into the gray, but the fire won't decay. In the hush beyond defeat, burns the will that won't retreat. Flashes spark across the night, crimson echoes fill my sight. Breath runs fast, the air turns thin, like a storm beneath my skin. Crowds are roaring in the dark, every heartbeat leaves a mark. Footsteps pounding like a drum toward the fire I become. Voices rising, pulling me past the edge of sanity. Every shadow bends and sways, lost inside the burning haze. Pulses racing out of line, heat turns slow, gentle embers start to glow. Then the silence splits apart like a lightning through the heart. Every note begins to rise. footsteps slow but ember stay in the hush before goodbye. The rush still lights my way. Seconds stretch into a glow. Silent currents start to flow. Breath held tight between the beats. Time dissolves beneath my feet. Lights blur into silver lines. Every motion feels aligned. Pulse like thunder in my chest, guiding me without a rest. Footsteps echo soft and slow, yet my inner rivers grow. Voices distant, fading thin, only rhythm lives within. Air grows heavy, senses rise, reflections dancing in my eyes. Every nerve begins to spin as the rush pulls me in. Bloodrush overture begins to play, turning every doubt to drift and gray. Every heartbeat bends the flow of time. Like a silent wave I learn to ride. Bloodrush overture, feel the sway. Moments stretching far away. When the world moves out of phase, we awaken in a crimson haze. Shadows glide along the glass, watching every second pass. Hands feel lighter than before, like I've crossed an unseen shore. Colors bloom and start to shine. Every breath a fragile sign. Through the stillness I advance, caught inside a vivid trance. Sound and motion intertwine. Every step a fragile line. Pressure building soft and deep. In a rhythm I can keep. Bloodrush overture unfolds inside, like a hidden tide I cannot hide. Every flicker paints the air with a quiet burning flare. Eyes reflect a flowing light, guiding me beyond the night. In this slowed and vivid view, everything feels bright and true. Everything feels bright and true. Bloodrush overture expands so wide. Every fear dissolves with pride. Heartbeat drawing glowing arcs, leaving trails of crimson sparks. Standing where the silence breathes, finding truths no mind conceives. Through the rush and through the glow, we become the undertow. Melody like drifting rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment all is still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the tempo starts to rise. Waves of color fill the skies. Every note begins to soar, brighter than it was before. Brighter than it was before. Bloodrush overture, hear it call, turning every rise and fall. No more chains within the sound, only clarity is found. Even when the moment fades, still the echo softly stays in the pulse that carries through every shade of screams and echoes claim the soul.
force I feel, hands are steady, mind aligned, leaving hesitation blind. Footsteps echo through the air, focus beyond all despair. Every nerve begins to wake, no more room for one mistake. Pressure rising like a wave, calling out the strong and brave. No surrender frequency, hear it now. Every heartbeat taking its vow. All the noise dissolves away, only rhythm starts to stay. No surrender frequency ignites, cutting through electric nights. When the signal takes control, we align with body and soul. Laser focus in my eyes, guided by the silent skies. Every breath becomes a spark, drawing pathways through the dark. Time collapses into sound, only clarity is found. Every second stretches tight, balanced on the edge of light. Air grows still, the world feels slow. Energy begins to flow. Every pulse begins to climb, like a clock outside of time. No surrender frequency, rising high. Every echo cuts the sky. Through the chaos we remain, steady in the driving rain. Eyes reflecting silver flames, nothing here will stay the same. In the tension we believe, more than what we once perceived. No surrender frequency expands, like a wave across the lands. Every motion sharp and true, breaking through a vivid hue, standing where the currents meet, driven by a perfect beat. Through the silence, through the glow, we become the afterflow. Melody falls soft and slow, like a distant afterglow. For a breath the world stands still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the rhythm builds again, stronger than it's ever been. Every note begins to rise, shining through awakened eyes. No surrender frequency remains, flowing through electric veins. No retreat within this sound, only strength that we have found. Even when the echoes fade, still the fearless choice is made. Through the pulse and through the tone, we stand focused and alone. Static fades into the night, lingering sparks hold the light. In the hush beyond the beat, silence hums in steady lightning splits the midnight air, restless echoes everywhere. Breath turns sharp, the silence bends right before the chaos ends. Rain like needles on my skin, wild electric storm within. Emotions flow through the rain and through the flame. Nothing ever stays the same. Melody like falling rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment time slows down, quiet whispers all around. Then the storm begins to rise, flashing fire through the skies. Every note begins to soar stronger, louder than before.
Lights ignite the crowded air, rising voices everywhere. Breath aligns with distant sound like the earth begins to pound. Footsteps move in steady waves, guided by the strong and brave. Every glance a spark of light, shining through the restless night. Hands reach out across the glow, feeling currents start to flow. Heartbeats syncing with the crowd, growing fierce and growing loud. Air begins to vibrate strong, like a pulse inside a song. Every nerve begins to rise, flashing fire through eyes. Heartfire convergence, feel it burn. Every echo takes a turn. Voices lift into the sky, like 1,000 sparks that fly. Heartfire convergence, hear the sound, turning silence all around. When the rhythm pulls us near, we dissolve into the cheer.
Neon shadows twist and sway as the darkness fades away. Every second feels alive, like a flame that learns to thrive. Eyes reflect the glowing stage, breaking through a silent cage. Through the motion we align with the force we can't define.
Tension builds without a word, like a distant call unheard.
Every breath begins to climb
Past the edge of space and time.
Heartfire convergence, rising high, painting colors through the sky.
Fading color strikes in time, like a bell that starts to chime.
Crowds become a living flame.
Nothing here will stay the same. Standing where the echoes meet, we ignite the burning beat. Heartfire convergence takes control. Every sound becomes a soul. Voices merging into light, guided by the endless night.
Through the rhythm we
Evolve, every silence starts to dissolve. In the heat we redefine every fragile boundary line.
melody like falling rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment, time stands still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the tempo climbs again, stronger than it's ever been. Every note begins to soar, brighter than before. Heartfire convergence leads the way, turning night into a vivid day. No more distance left between all the hearts within the scene. Even when the lights grow dim, still the spark remains within. Through the sound and through the air lies the fire that we share.
Fading cheers begin to slow, gentle embers softly glow. In the hush beyond the tone, we are never truly alone. Flashes breaking through the night, breath collides
Yada
like a river set to overflow. Every choice a sharpened blade, cutting through the plans we made. In the glow of crimson light, we transform the endless night. Through the fall and through the climb, we define our fragile time. Melody like distant rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment time feels slow, gentle embers start to glow. Then the rhythm builds again, rising higher through the pain. Every note begins to soar, stronger than it was before. Edge of the reckless, hear the heartbeat call. Even if the sky begins to fall, no retreat from what I know, only forward steps to go. Through the noise and through the fire burns a quiet fierce desire. In the clash of fate and guess, we become the recklessness. City lights begin to fade, echoes of the choice we made. In the hush, beyond the test, still we stand on reckless. Lightning splits the midnight air, restless echoes everywhere. Breath turns sharp, the silence bends, right before the chaos ends. Rain like needles on my skin, while electric storm within. Every heartbeat pounds loud like a cry above the crowd. Eyes reflect the burning sky, shattered dreams begin to fly. Steps collide with crashing sound as a spinning world unwinds. With hidden heat, thunder rolling at my feet. Every doubt begins to fall as the rising currents call. Rapture in the firestorm, feel it break. Every fragile chain begins to shake. Lightning running through my veins tonight, turning every shadow into light. Rapture in the firestorm, hear the cry. Every pulse ascending to the sky. When the chaos opens up the door, we become what we were made for. Neon flashes blur the line between surrender and design. Every breath a glowing spark, painting colors through the dark. Voices fading into flame, nothing here remains the same. Through the storm I find my way, chasing down beyond the grave. Shielding without sound, like a wave that can't be bound. Every nerve begins to rise, mirrors flashing in my eyes. Rapture in the firestorm takes control, burning through the center of my soul. Every motion wild and bold and free, carving out a new reality. Sky ignites in crimson gold, stories waiting to be told. Standing where the thunder roars, we redefine the endless wars. Rapture in the firestorm surges high, tearing through the fractured sky. Every heartbeat feels so wide, like a raging ocean tide. Fear dissolves into the glow as the fierce emotions flow through the rain and through the flood.
For a moment time slows down, quiet whispers all around. Then the storm begins to rise, flashing fire through the skies. Every note begins to soar, stronger, louder than before. Rapture in the firestorm lights the night. Every shattered piece ignites. No more silence left to hide. Only ways we learn to ride. Even when the thunder fades, still the spark inside remains. In the storm we found the form of our rapture in the storm. Echoes drift away, ash and lightning start to sway. In the hush beyond the roar, hearts still beating evermore. Stories waiting to unfold. Eyes ignite with vivid light. Unchained battle cry here and war. Echo shake the iron door. Breath ignites before the sound. Like a storm about to pound.
Footsteps strike with rising heat. Every pulse a thunder beat. Hidden fire in my chest. Breaking free from heavy rest. Eyes ignite with burning light. Cutting through the endless night. Voices clash inside my mind. Leaving all restraint behind. Air grows sharp, the moment bends. Like a spark that never ends. Every nerve begins to rise. Flashing stars behind my eyes.
Unchained battle cry, hear it roar. Breaking through the silent war. Every breath becomes a flame. Nothing here will stay the same. Unchained battle cry takes flight. Shattering the frozen night. When the voice begins to rise, we awake and we defy.
Neon sparks across the sky. Shadows fade as seconds fly. Hands are steady, spirit wide. Guided by a fearless stride. Every echo turns to sound. Like a heartbeat newly found. Through the pressure I advance. Driven by a fearless stand. Tension builds without a word. Like a distant cry unheard. Every breath begins to climb past the edge of space and time.
Unchained battle cry surges high. Like a lightning through the sky. Every clash ignites the flame.
Fueling every daring aim.
Eyes reflect a vivid glow. Where the restless spirits go. Standing where the thunder stays.
Lost within the burning blaze. Unchained battle cry expands, breaking through invisible bands. Every motion fierce and bright, guided by electric light. Through the roar we redefine every fragile boundary line. In the rhythm we believe more than what we once could see. Melody like falling rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment time stands still, breathing through a fragile thrill. Then the pulse begins to climb, rising past the edge of time. Every note begins to soar, stronger than it was before. Unchained battle cry leads the way, turning darkness into day. No more chains beneath the sound, only strength that we have found. Even when the echoes fade, still the fearless choice is made. Through the fire and through the sky lives the unchained battle cry. Fading sparks drift through the air. Silent strength still lingers there. In the hush beyond the fight burns a calm and steady light. to pound. Fades away. Every second feels alive, like a flame that learns to thrive. Eyes reflect the glowing stage, breaking through a silent cage. Through the motion we align with a force we can't define. Tension builds without a word, like a distant call unheard. Every breath begins to climb past the edge of space and time. Heartfire convergence, rising high, painting colors through the sky. Every heartbeat strikes in time, like a bell that starts to chime. Crowds become a living flame, nothing here will stay the same. Standing where the echoes meet, we ignite the burning beat. Heartfire convergence takes control. Every sound becomes a soul. Voices merging into light, guided by the endless night. Through the rhythm we evolve. Every silence starts to dissolve in the heat. We redefine every fragile boundary line. Melody like falling rain, soft relief within the strain. For a moment time stands still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the tempo climbs again, stronger than it's ever been. Every note begins to soar, brighter, louder than before. Heartfire convergence leads the way, turning night into a vivid day. No more distance left between all the hearts within the scene. Even when the lights grow dim, still the spark remains within. Through the sound and through the air leaves the fire that we share. Fading without sound, like a pulse beneath the ground. Every breath begins to climb past the edge of space and time. Raging Soulfront burns the sky. Every spark begins to fly. Shattered echoes fill the air, leaving trails of fearless glare. Eyes ignite with vivid flame, fueling every daring aim. Standing where the thunder roars, we unlock forgotten doors. Raging Soulfront surges strong. Every clash becomes a song. Through the chaos we evolve. Every hidden chain dissolves. Hearts collide in glowing streams, breaking through the oldest dreams. In the heat we redefine every fragile boundary line. Melody falls soft and slow, like a distant afterglow. For a moment flames grow still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the rhythm climbs again, stronger than it's ever been. Every note begins to rise, painting fire across the sky. Raging Soulfront lights the way, turning night into a blaze. No more silence left to keep, only promises we leap. Even when the storm grows thin, still the spark remains within. Through the roar and through the tone, we claim power as our own. Fading echoes drift away, ashes turning into gray. In the hush beyond the flame, burns a heart that won't be tamed.
Flames rise under shattered skies. Silence sparks behind our
off relief within the strain. For a moment flames grow still, floating on a fragile thrill. Then the tempo climbs again, stronger than